Hello, I'm David Harper with the BBC News. A new study says the Brazilian part of the Amazon rainforest released 20% more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere in the past decade than it absorbed. Large-scale logging and fires lit deliberately to clear land are being blamed. Steve Jackson reports.
The authors of the study, published in the journal Nature Climate Change, say this is the first time it's been possible to show that the Brazilian Amazon is now a net emitter of greenhouse gases. The change is highly significant, as the Amazon is the world's biggest tropical rainforest and has always played a key role in absorbing carbon dioxide. 60% of the forest lies in Brazil, so taken as a whole, the report says, the Amazon is now only carbon neutral. Deforestation of the Amazon, mostly to clear land for farming, has been going on for decades, but campaigners say President Bolsonaro's policies have accelerated the process.
Reports from the western Indian state of Gujarat say at least 12 people have died after a fire at a hospital treating COVID patients in the city of Bharuch. The details from Naresh Kaushik.
Pictures on social media show smoke rising from the Patel Welfare Hospital, with the fire brigade trying to control the blaze. An official at the hospital told the BBC that the fire had been put out but had caused considerable damage. This is the third fire at a COVID hospital in Western India in a week. The other two blazes happened in the neighbouring state of Maharashtra, killing 17 people. Both states are among the worst affected by the huge second wave of the coronavirus in India.
Australia has made it temporarily illegal for its citizens to return home if they've been in India in the past 2 weeks. From Monday, anyone who breaks the new law will face up to 5 years in prison and big fines. Currently, 9,000 Australians are believed to be in India. Phil Mercer is in Sydney.
This is thought to be the first time Australians have been banned from their own country, with the threat of criminal sanctions for those who make it home. The Health Minister Greg Hunt says drastic measures are necessary because of what he describes as the unmanageable number of citizens arriving in Australia with COVID-19. Critics say the government is abandoning its people as the pandemic ravages India. Australia closed its borders to foreign nationals more than a year ago as part of a strict coronavirus strategy.
India is beginning the third phase of its coronavirus vaccination programme from today, with all adults now eligible to receive a jab. It comes as the country is struggling to cope with a massive surge in COVID-19 infections. Several state governments have said they won't be able to begin this phase today because they don't have enough doses. There are also fears that large crowds at vaccination centres could spread more coronavirus infections. World news from the BBC. The governor of Rio de Janeiro, Wilson Witzel, has been impeached by a special court in Brazil over alleged corruption in the purchase of medical equipment to treat COVID-19 patients. Mr. Witzel is a former ally of President Jair Bolsonaro and was elected promising to slaughter criminals, as he put it. He denies any wrongdoing and says he's being persecuted by Mr. Bolsonaro's political allies after the two men fell out. The Colombian president, Ivan Duque, has announced he'll review a controversial tax reform proposal after 3 days of mass protests in cities across the country. However, Mr. Duque insists the reforms were crucial to balance the government's budget and guarantee the survival of important benefits and social projects. Trade unions say the changes are unfair and will affect mostly people who are already struggling financially because of the pandemic. A World Trade Organization meeting has failed to agree on a proposal to waive patent rules for pandemic-related products. The 60 countries who are backing the waiver said it would allow more companies to produce vaccines without being limited by intellectual property laws. But the plan, suggested by South Africa and India, has been opposed mainly by developed economies. Venezuelans have celebrated the beatification of Jose Gregorio Hernandez, a doctor who treated the poor for free more than a century ago. The ceremony in a chapel in the capital Caracas was shown live on state television. Known as Dr. Jose Gregorio, he worked relentlessly during the Spanish flu pandemic. These believers of his in Caracas said he had changed lives.
Celebrating today the beatification is something that brings us great satisfaction, a great joy. For us, he was already a saint. We can now venerate him in church.
I lost my voice. I lost everything. At that time, Jose Gregorio performed a miracle on me.
BBC News.